Hey, I'm TimeGazer666 and this is going to be my first video, and today I'm going to be playing Trick and Treat. The sound of our steps combined with that of the occasional nocturnal animals is the only thing we can hear. It's terribly dark in this place, and the dense vegetation makes it impossible to see the sky or light from the moon. Yeah, I'm terrible at reading, by the way. Y'all just have to bear with me. Our flashlights are the only things that light up our way. At times like this, one begs not to run out of battery. Wait, yeah. We walk without knowing what we are really looking for, or better said, for no reason. We are just a group of boys bored with our lives. That's like me every day. Trying to create a lasting memory on this last night, instead of just staying home doing nothing. That's what I do every day. Today is October 31st. All Hallows Eve, better known as Halloween. Oh, I didn't know that. 3 young men walk through a dark, but up until now, nothing special forest. Me being one of them. This is me and my friends. Holy shit. We gotta do something like this. Fuck. We are doing it to prove our courage. It's too bad there isn't a girl here to see how brave we are. Sausage first. Sauce. That was inappropriate. Seeing it like that, one could say this is meaningless effort. Is a meaningless effort. For a moment, I stop. Look at my watch. It's 1:49 a.m. That means we have been walking aimlessly for more than 2 hours now. I don't know why I did that, but you know, I am sure that many people would find a place like this terrifying. Fuck it, it'd be awesome to go in a forest. One time, went to the forest. Well, not really a forest. Oh, Pines Forest. Yeah, forest. We call it a forest. It says it's a forest. It's a forest preserve type thing with some mates, and we found some like demon worshipping shit. It was fucking. That was terrifying. And then it started raining. It was so weird, and we had to run, and we had to walk for ages because we got lost. Long story. But once you get used to it, the fear disappears, making it feel like normal. What makes us afraid of the dark is that we cannot know what hides in it, what lurks in the shadows. Ninjas lurk in the shadows. Everyone knows that. But this is clearly an empty darkness. At that moment, I sigh, feeling how tired my legs are. What is the point of being here? Clearly, we had already demonstrated what we wanted. It would be best to return. I should tell them. And no. Bitch! I'm sorry, that's not very nice. I was about to speak when suddenly the atmosphere in the forest became strange. Suddenly a cold chill runs through my body. It was like any other chill, except it was not going away. For no reason, the air temperature dropped from 1 second to another. 1 second to another. So much so, my breath begins visibly turning into mist. It doesn't end there. The air is now filled with a rotten smell, like a little short from being unbearable. Images of worms and flies down appear in my mind, giving me a really unpleasant feeling. We all stop at that moment. Axel, what's happening? Axel's the character, I think. assuming. I don't actually know anything about this. I saw it on Steam and downloaded it a couple minutes ago. So yeah. I actually have no idea what the game's like. Is it just going to be this story-like thing? I know it's a virtual novel, I think that's what it says. I don't know, I didn't really read it. I just downloaded it because it looked cool. I asked, confused, while turning to look at my friends. But the expressions on their faces, it was easy to know that they were just as lost as I was. What the fuck? That's not creepy. It's like in my ear. It's like. It was we heard footsteps nearby. That did not come from any of us. We all got dead quiet after that. I don't know if it was out of fear or to check if it was not a mistake, but we stayed motionless like statues without making a noise, just looking at each other's faces wondering the same thing. What happened? What's happening? As if I could know. We hear the footsteps again, or the steps again. They clearly belong to a human, or at least to a large animal, but there is something strange about them. It sounds as if the person walked, dragging one foot. Just thinking about it made me shiver. Damn, why is this happening? It makes no sense. We should have returned home before, but now it's too late to regret it. I have the feeling that we are being stalked by someone. The strange footsteps stop, but I'm still feeling the presence nearby. I don't know where it is, but I know that it's looking at me. That cursed thing is looking at me. My heart is beating anxiously. It's almost as if my body was telling me to get out of here. Or get out of there. Here, same shit. But strangely, my friends seemed unable to perceive it. Friend. Oh, okay, so I think the character's name is Axel. I think. Because it says friend, so it seems that it's gone. It must have been just an animal, said one of them. Convinced that we were safe, I would like to believe that too. We had a sigh of relief. However, bad luck would not soon strike again. Bad luck would soon strike again. Doesn't matter. Unexpectedly, the forest becomes darker than before in just the blink of an eye. But that wasn't the fault of the forest, but our flashlights, which went out. Of the three, only one, mine, was still working. The friend again. I think it might be the other friend. Yeah, I don't know the friend. Yeah. What's going on? Did the batteries die? Asking one of them, scared, while they both beat them desperately, as if that was going to revive them. I mean, it can. I do that all the time. You go bash the torch and sometimes it goes back on. It's a long story. I can't blame them. The idea of walking in the darkness, that wasn't pleasant for anyone. But after a few moments, we had no choice but to resign ourselves to that. Once more, the sound of our footsteps is heard, but the silence is different now. We are not quiet because we have nothing to say, but because we are afraid. We continue walking, despite the fear that invades us. Visibility is almost zero, but we have no choice. In theory, we were walking back looking for the exit, but I cannot remember anything of this forest. We could be walking in circles, and I would never notice it, until it's too late. I hate the thought of it. I just want to get out of here. Oh, it says here. Suddenly, my thoughts are silent. We hear the footsteps of someone or something. That is really annoying. Footsteps in my ear. Once more, the three of us become statues awaiting the presence to go. I held my breath while feeling my heart beating anxiously. Damn! Get away from here and leave us alone. Unexpectedly, the steps are heard closer. This time they do not disappear, but rather come at us. I don't stand it. Desperately, I move my flashlight everywhere, looking for of those footsteps, hoping the light to reveal their identity and erase our fears. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Is that all there is around here? Just empty air. My anxiety grows with each failed attempt. I refuse to believe that it was a ghost. Suddenly, when I move the flashlight again, I see a silhouette. I could not distinguish what it was, but for a moment the light revealed something. Quickly, I point to the same place, only to discover it was gone. I held my breath anxiously. It was not an illusion. I am sure that I saw something. It was then that I heard something nearby. Without even thinking, I aimed the light toward that place. I can't count. What I found leaves us paralyzed with an expression of disbelief on our faces. It is a white cat with eyes of an intense red, which stands before us. Her look is not the friendliest to say anything. Somehow I get the feeling it's a female cat. Suddenly she lets out a thunderous meow that leaves us terrified. It sounds more like a lion roaring than a simple cat. The echo of her meow is heard throughout the forest, making it sound more sinister than it should be. It was then that suddenly an inexplicable force hit us three. I fall to the ground, and little by little my eyelids close. The fatigue becomes unbearable. I lose consciousness on the ground of the forest without knowing what was going to happen with me. Interlude before the nightfall. Wait, before night falls. I hate that writing. It's a day like any other, so normal that it was almost painful. The only special thing that could be said about it is that it's October 31st. Wait, what? Where'd the sound go? The fuck? Okay, that sounds back. That was weird. I'm just gonna leave that in the video. Fuck it. Fuck editing. Too much effort. Just remembering it made me sigh. I feel nostalgic. Some things were better when I was a child, or at least seems like that. Wait. 31st, it was nighttime, but I'm in a room? I'm so confused right now. Okay. There were some who had good costumes, whether of superheroes or monsters. My friends and I, on the other hand, had to use our imagination. Creativity was our costume, you could say, no matter how funny it could sound. I remember that my mother once painted my face, read my face, and told me you will be the devil. But it seems only she saw it that way. When you went from house to house, everyone said I was the tomato man. Yeah, no. But those things didn't matter to me, since we always had a good time. If I asked for candy now, even if I had the best costume, I'm sure no one would give me anything, except perhaps a scolding for acting like a child when I am 17 years old. fuck them cunts. I'm like 19 and I still do shit like this. I still do kiddie-ish things. Like, oh, you're an adult now, you shouldn't be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Or you shouldn't be playing Pokemon or something like that. Oh, it's too childish. It's like, I grew up with those things. I'm not gonna just not play those things or do these things, like, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm sick of people that are like that. Because I'm acting like a child. Bullshit. But anyway, I can't stay in the past, I guess. I must live in the present, no matter how little exciting that might be. Back to reality. We are a group of friends who don't have any plans for today. Dude, that's like the story of my life. Having a group of friends that really don't have any plans. It's literally me and my friends. Except everyone's now doing their own thing, going to university or TAFE or working, and I'm stuck in high school. All my friends are graduated, and I'm stuck in high school. Yeah, I'm 19 years old, turning 20 this year, and I'm still in high school. Yeah. Oh well. We're still not old enough to go to a disco, but I doubt guys as us would have any luck in that environment. The other option would be to go to a party, meet girls, have fun. Just usually what? Yeah, that seems like a good idea. Crack us some beers or something, I don't know. Who drinks beer? The only beer I can drink is Corona. I prefer Smirnoffs, double blacks, ice thing, vodka with lemon or citrus. It's so good. Everything perfect, except that nobody has invited us. Not being popular has its disadvantages. Yeah, I don't know how that feels. I go to parties, so so we have things in common. Hey Axel, let's have a couple matches. What do you say? My friend Steven called my attention while playing with the game console. Okay, we've got a name now. Steven. That's one of the friends. Shred? I believe that's what the game is called. A fast and quick, complicated fighting game for me. Fighting games. I love fighting games like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, Kill Instinct. Those games, the old school ones, like the arcade ones, so good. Okay, back to topic. I would normally agree to play with him, but for some reason I don't feel like... Wait, the mood today? Oh, don't feel in the mood today. I have no desire to play now. I replied with a discouragement. I almost felt bad for doing it. Boring. The AI is no rival for me, Steven said with confidence. That you're playing on normal difficulty does not help your argument. I hate people that do that. That's funny. I don't feel like losing, but if you want, you can challenge to Alfred. Ah, we got another name. We have another name. Alfred. That's good. I said, leading to the attention of my other friend. Okay, so before it just said friends, now we got names. Alfred. I don't know how to play that game, or that. Answered Alfred, doubting for a second. Yeah. He is sitting behind the PC, but it seems that he isn't doing anything interesting. The screen only shows a list of texts. I think he's in Wikipedia. I love editing Wikipedia. I really have to stop saying random things that every time something pops up, because that's how it's gonna make the video a lot longer, and then I have to edit more, and it's like, oh, and I'm doing it right now. I love editing Wikipedia posts, that's all. Let's go with that. Hey, don't you have anything more fun to do? I asked with discouragement, without even thinking about what he was reading. Alfred looked at me surprised. The actual problem of society is that people are not interested in discovering their history. Amen, brother. Amen. I'm not even religious, but amen. He is one of the most intellectuals. Is that Spanish? Fuck it. Intellectuals always looking for any rare information to appear smarter than others. Ugh. When we forget our past mistakes, we are doomed to repeat them. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. He added later. What are you talking about? This village is small and its story is not interesting at all. Nothing outside of the normal has ever happened in it. Alfred laughed mockingly after hearing that. Your ignorance is worthy of praise. He paused, filling his chest with pride. The very fact is, it is a small town in the reasons it's full of mysteries. Did you know that 20 years ago on this day a man disappeared? So, what about it? I asked without being impressed or even interested in the least. Things like that happen all the time in all places. As I thought, you don't know the history despite living in this place. This very place. Alfred said while adjusting his glasses to an arrogant gesture. There is a legend behind the disappearances. That is what I was reading. After listening to him, I looked back at the computer screen with curiosity. It's then that I noticed that it was not Wikipedia, but some other page. Come on, read this and learn a little, Alfred said, inviting us to read what was on the screen. Both Stephen and I moved closer to read it. Town of Abingdon, Oxfordshire Country, 1994. I came to this town with only 400,000 inhabitants to support them in an investigation. Truth is that never in my life have I seen something this strange. I won't say your typical detective-ish nonsense that I have seen thousands of strange things in my life. I have seen many crimes, yes, but some difficult to solve. But all of them were human. Even if you don't know how they managed to perpetrate the crime, you know that they are people like anyone else. In this case, I don't think I'm able to say the same thing. Truth is that I can't understand what happened. I was called for the disappearance of a man named Matthew Graham, 23 years old. Single. Last time he was seen, he was returning home from a Halloween party. He had drank alcohol but was still sober, or at least that's what the witnesses say. Anyway, this is not something which can be explained with a simple drunkenness. He apparently got lost on the way home and decided to enter the forest called Oakwood. It had rained yesterday, so the ground was wet and muddy. We could easily find his tracks, which were leading deep into the forest. Apparently he walked for 3 hours before stopping. I say stop, but the truth is, we don't know what happened then. The track suddenly ended up in a clearing in the forest, and that's all. There was no evidence of struggle, no other trace or piece of clothing on the ground. There was no blood, no more footsteps, or anything at all, or anything else. The depths of his last footprint and position, they were an indication that he was still walking. At that point, he stood still. It was as if he had vaporized in the air, with all his clothes, in the middle of his walk. Obviously, I can't believe such a thing, but I can't give another explanation. The only thing I remember is that near the footprints, I sensed a faint smell of rot. However, were no animal corpses nearby. It is ridiculous to think he suddenly started started to decay and became Earth. In the end, the case was closed in just 3 days. With no evidence of any kind, we couldn't say anything but that he decided to escape from the village. However, while officially there was no more to do, I couldn't sleep in peace, thinking about what could have happened to him. Took away my sleep. In my mind, I thought all sorts of theories. Like maybe everything was developed by Matthew. But in the end they all seem impossible. I decided to investigate more on the issue. I searched the town for similar stories, and my surprise I found 4 more. All young men. The story was always the same. They walked into the forest alone, disappearing without a trace. Even more curious is that all of them disappeared on the same date, October 31st. But there is more. A detail that completely eliminates the possibility that there is a killer or kidnapper behind this, and that is the separation of the years. Roger Bacon disappeared in 1914. Mitchell Smith disappeared in 1867. Jason Black disappeared in 1813. And the worst of all, Oswald Taylor disappeared in 1707. It simply couldn't be possible. My curiosity led me to dig deeper. I thought that the answer may be in the past of the forest. It was then when I discovered that what seemed to be a simple and boring forest actually hid a great story. Before it was called Oakwood or Oaks Forest, the place was called Witchwood. The word was hugely similar with witch. Taking into consideration that it is an old name and language changed over time, the indication that it was the Forest of Witches. Apparently, more than 400 years ago, the people of the village believed witches lived in the forest. Unfortunately, almost all of the information is already lost. There were stories told in voice, without a proper written record. I just know that with the change of religion to Christian, people stopped seeing the witches with good eyes and began to hunt them. Apparently, the last one before her death cast a curse on the forest, which even today should continue to exist. Anyway, obviously, I cannot accept anything like that as an answer. In the end, I had no other choice than to accept that each one of them escaped from the village, using the legend of the forest to make it look like it was something supernatural. Interesting story. I didn't know that such a story was hidden in this village. I said, honestly, surprised. Even if it is a lie, it managed to hold my interest. Wait, there's something more, Alfred said. At the same time, he scrolled to the comments. We read that it is written here. A couple of comments call out. Both of them walk about some creature. At the time, they felt a horrible fear for what could happen to them. Well, the 2 comments share great similarities, but they could have been written by the same person. There are more others than many others that deny. Looks like many people went to the forest because of the legend but couldn't find anything. I thought that you could only read these things to look more cool before the girls. Replied Stephen as a joke. Alfred giggles with a little shame. Partly, yes. He admitted it. That was a secret everybody silently knew. Well, now we have an activity for tonight, Stephen said as at the same time he makes a face overflowing with enthusiasm. What? Where the fuck did the sound go again? Oh, the sound keeps coming, but fuck. I asked, completely lost. I thought we were just killing time. Simply, let's go to that forest, Stephen replied without hesitation. He seemed really frustrated by the story. Right, fascinated by the story. Are you insane? Said Alfred, unable to believe what he just heard. You only need to look at his face to know he did not like the idea. Despite everything you've heard, you want to go? Of course. It would be a test of courage among us three, replied Stephen, full of confidence. Perhaps too much. He should relax a bit. Don't tell me you're afraid. I know. Why should I be afraid? Answered Alfred. At the same time he folds his arms, making a false gesture of security. It's more than obvious that you are afraid, Alfred. Almost as much as when you have to talk with a girl. And what about you, Axel? Don't tell me you won't come. Suddenly Stephen asked me, at the same time looking at me mockingly. Don't tell me you want to be the chicken of the group. I hate that tone of voice he uses. I will never give you that, I said without thinking, showing a confident smile and look. Well, let's not say more. Take your coats, backpacks, flashlights, and some food. We are going to the forest, Stephen said, full energy. Yeah! We three said in unison, as if we were going to have some kind of private party. Not really knowing what we were doing or what we were going to find. So this game is just a story, and I just click and that's pretty much it, I think. That's what I'm getting. Because, not really. I thought it was going to be more like, I knew it was a story, but I thought there was more choice in things. Or maybe it will be later, I don't know. Completely confused, not knowing how much time had passed. My heart hurts like hell, but I can't blame it. Fortunately, the pain goes away quickly, just as my confusion. Soon I come back to my senses. My flashlight is lying on the ground, shining towards the empty air. I immediately pick it up. It was my only protection against the darkness that surrounds me. Then I remember that Stephen and Alfred were with me. Stephen! Alfred! Can you hear me? Without thinking, I screamed their names in the dark while trying to find them with my flashlight, but there is no trace of them. They are gone. Where the hell are they? And what the heck has just happened? I really don't understand anything. Shit! We should have stayed home. This is not a This is not proof of courage. We could be in danger. I have to find them. You know, I'm gonna leave this video here. Yep, so, yeah. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, and, yeah.